What happens when two worlds collide and neither truly understands the other? The Orenda by Joseph Boyden is not an easy story. It is brutal, spiritual, heartbreaking, and unforgettable. Set in 17th century Canada, this novel forces us to confront colonization, faith, identity, and the cost of survival. In this video, we'll explore the full story, major characters, themes, and deeper meaning of the Orenda. By the end, you'll understand why this novel is considered one of the most powerful works of modern Canadian literature. Let's begin. Part 1. What does the Orenda mean? In Indigenous belief systems, the Orenda is a spiritual force, an inner power that exists in all living things. It is strength, will, spirit, and identity. This concept lies at the heart of the novel. Every conflict, every choice, every tragedy is shaped by whose Orenda survives and whose is destroyed. Part 2. Setting the scene, 17th century Canada. The Orenda is set in the early 1600s, before Canada existed as a nation. The land is home to indigenous nations, particularly the Huron-Wendat and the Iroquois, who are locked in brutal warfare. Into this world arrive French Jesuit missionaries, driven by religious zeal and the belief that salvation can only come through Christianity. The novel is told through three alternating voices: Bird, a Huron warrior and leader; Snowfalls, an Iroquois girl taken captive; Christophe, a French Jesuit missionary. Each voice offers a radically different worldview, and none of them fully understand the others. Part 3. Bird, the warrior. Bird is a respected Huron warrior, father, and husband. His life is defined by honor, survival, and spiritual balance. When his family is killed in an Iroquois raid, Bird captures Snowfalls, a young enemy girl, and brings her into his village. According to Huron custom, captives can be adopted to replace the dead. Bird believes this will restore balance to his Orenda, but trauma and hatred run deep. Part 4. Snowfalls, the captive. Snowfalls is fierce, angry, and broken. Her family has been slaughtered by the Huron, and she dreams only of revenge. Taken into Bird's household, she resists every attempt at adoption. To her, kindness feels like betrayal. Survival requires hatred. Snowfalls' voice shows us the cost of violence on children and how trauma shapes identity. She is both victim and weapon, innocence and rage combined. Part 5. Christophe, the missionary. Christophe is a French Jesuit missionary driven by faith and a desire to save souls. He believes he has been chosen by God to bring Christianity to the heathens of the New World. But Christophe's devotion slowly turns into fanatism. He misunderstands indigenous spirituality, viewing it as devil worship. He believes suffering is holy and that forcing salvation is justified. Through Christophe, Boyden critiques religious colonialism, showing how faith can become a weapon when mixed with power and certainty. Part 6. Cultural collision and misunderstanding. The tragedy of the Orenda lies not only in violence, but in misunderstanding. The Huron see spirituality as something lived, felt, and balanced with nature. The Jesuits see religion as absolute truth. Neither side truly listens. Every attempt to save the other leads to destruction. Part 7. Violence, disease, and colonization. As European contact increases, disease spreads rapidly. Entire villages die from smallpox and measles. The Huron believe their Orenda is weakening. Christophe believes suffering proves God's presence. Meanwhile, Iroquois attacks intensify, fueled by European weapons and trade. Colonization doesn't arrive with flags, it arrives with illness, belief systems, and broken balance. Part 8. The Breaking Point. Snowfalls grows older, shaped by hatred and pain. Bird's attempts to restore balance fail. Christophe descends into madness. The story spirals toward devastation. What remains is loss of people, cultures, belief systems, and identity. Part 9. Major Themes. Let's break down the core themes: colonization and cultural erasure, the destruction of indigenous ways of life, faith versus spirituality, rigid belief versus lived balance, violence and survival, how brutality becomes normalized, identity and trauma, how loss reshapes the self, power and misunderstanding, when certainty destroys compassion. Part 10. Symbolism. Orenda, inner spiritual power and identity. Fire and blood, destruction and renewal. Disease, invisible force of colonization. Adoption, attempt to heal loss, often unsuccessfully. Part 11. What the book wants to convey. The Orenda does not offer heroes or villains. Instead, it asks us to confront the cost of certainty, the danger of believing your truth is the only truth, the trauma left behind by colonization. It demands empathy for those erased, misunderstood, and silenced. This is not a comfortable story, but it is a necessary one. Conclusion. The Orenda is a novel about loss of land, culture, balance, and humanity. Joseph Boyden forces us to witness the collision of worlds and asks us to reflect on what survives when power replaces understanding. If you're looking for a novel that challenges you, unsettles you, and stays with you long after the final page, The Orenda is unforgettable. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful book breakdowns. Until next time, keep reading, keep questioning, and keep listening.